Good morning, everybody. My name is Max Farrell. This is Dex Trader, and this particular video is all about our results for the past week. This is called the weekly wrap-up, and with Dex Trader and myself and all of our staff and our traders and everybody else, we'd like to thank you for joining us here now. Let's get started. So, quickly enough, if you're not familiar with Dex Trader and our signals, we have four major groups of signals in our basic package, which are the dailies, the intradays, the NA intraday, which stands for news avoidance, and the SR maxes. I know, I named them after myself, but I like them. Okay, so the dailies are really about being a range trade for using on NADEX's daily system. If you're not familiar with NADEX, the North American Derivative Exchange, please look at our training system on here, all about it under NADEX Ninja, and that'll give you a little bit of a brief intro to the company. But they're an exchange that we use for doing our signal basis on. So all of our signals are based on that process. Can you use them for Forex? Absolutely. But again, this is not really about being a sales video. This is more about telling you about our results for the week of 8/13 to 8/18, which is today. Now, there are some that haven't finished out yet, so I'll make sure that it's updated on the spreadsheet that I'll show you here in just a minute. But what I do is that I just simply copy and paste our results into a page like this, and I just copy and paste them over to here, and I put them on all different tabs for the four that are there, and I'm going to go over those results with you right now. So our dailies up to 9 o'clock this morning on Friday, from Sunday night at 6 p.m., our daily signals released 173 signals, and we only had 5 losses. Now, in these daily signals, you got to remember that these fill through working orders. And if they fill, these aren't the actual trades themselves. These are actually just the signals that we provided. So about 30% to 40% of these will fill, okay? And out of that, if you have losses, there'll be at least these 5 losses. I don't think there's any other losses from that point. So even if we did take 30% of 173 and added the 5 losses, that'd still be pretty dang good for a win-loss ratio. You should have made money. Now, you're not going to take every single trade on this as well. So you have to keep that in mind. You're going to trade certain times, right? But with a 97.11% success rate, if it does fill, it's winning 90% of the time, 97% of the time. I think that's pretty dang good. All right. And you have even some 100%ers. Now, on our website, too, we have a thing called the DPC, which tells us a lot about what the last week has been. And you see 97.2. That's pretty good. I guess it's a little bit different than my results there, but that's okay. But you can also see about the results that if in the last week, even in the last month, the AUD USD doing 100% on the Euro USD in the last month, Great Britain pound JPY 100%, and the rest pretty dang good. That means that if those get filled, you're pretty much winning the process. And just simply putting a working order and allow it to do its job, I'm pretty sure you're going to get some return on that. All right, let's jump over to the intradays. Now, these are our 1-hour trades that we have on the system, and we just let these go right through news and everything else. Didn't have a great success rate with 83%, okay? But here you're more about getting into a good market price and waiting for that perfect trade to be able to file off. So even if you were to be able to get in 83 and trade every single trade, you would still been in profit margin. It would have been slight, but you would still been in profit margin. The other is that these have a very particular way to be able to trade them, and you can also validate them with some of our indicators over from Dex Indicators using our support and resistance and our Dex MACD, which we do have a bundle for. Also in this video, I'll have a links to that as well. You'll probably be even watching this on Dex Indicators as well. All right. Now, the intradays have a sister trade. Now, we did 192 signals with these, with only 32 losses. Not too bad. But still, overall, with the dailies and intradays, that's over almost 400 trades or 400 signals put out. That's not too bad for a company. Now, the intradays have a sister system called the NA intraday, which is news avoidance. Why did we do this? Why couldn't you just avoid the news with trading with this? Well, you can, but people really, when our customers ask us for things, we deliver. So the NA intradays are pretty important too. So here's what we have: 131 signals fired off with an 87% success rate, a little bit better than the intradays. But remember, when those intradays lose big too, they're going to lose pretty powerful as well. So, but you're going to filter out some of those losses through this process. Okay, so it's got a little bit better of a ratio, but it'll also kind of tear down some of your timing too, right? So just keep that in mind. 131 trades, 131 signals put out, I'm sorry, and only 17 losses. Now, the NA intradays are our most popular traded process, and there are some nuances in there to avoid. So you wouldn't ever take two JPY trades together, and especially for this hour, you can kind of see this is the same hour that it was released. Okay, you wouldn't take two JPY, so you would only have lost one of these. And of course, you would never take two of the same base process. So keep that in mind as you're trading, you're looking at these results. So you wouldn't take every single trade as well as, or every single signal, and you would only take one of the positions, the one with the highest ratio. Normally, I would look at the one with the highest success ratio at that point. Even though that it did lose, you would have still only taken one. So keep that in mind. You wouldn't have lost every single one in there. All right. Now, the NA intradays with the lack of news has another system, because these are all set and forget kind of solutions. The last one here is the SR Maxes. Now, this is our scalping system. This means that the signal gets fired and you get into the trade. And if the Dex MACD, okay, using from DexIndicators.net, if the Dex MACD crosses in the opposite direction at any time during a trade, it's a 2-hour trade, then you get out. Now, that's sometimes when that Dex MACD crosses, you're still in the positive. You still got money on the market value for the NADEX contract. And so you're getting out of the smaller amount, and you're cutting your losses. We have this saying: if you're going to scalp for the good, scalp for the bad. Learn how to do getting scalped out of a trade even though it's losing, and know what it looks like when it is losing. The ratio is pretty strong. Even though it has only a 71% success rate, we're not talking about the overall success, because even though you get out of the trade, this might lose 22 pips, okay, lose by 22 pips, but it doesn't really matter at that point. It's a losing trade. You wouldn't have lost your complete $80 risk value or $75 risk value. These also have a potential to get very, very close to $30 and $40 per contract. So that's pretty powerful for us as well. All right, as an overall, the amount of signals that we put out is well in abundance. We have a tremendous amount. Let's just tally them up real quickly. I'll do, let's see, what is that? 173 plus 192 plus 131. Everybody's probably already doing this in their head, aren't they? And then plus 174. Okay, 670. Wow. Okay, 670 signals fired out for the week. So not too bad. I won't add up the success rates because this one's a little skewed because of its relationship with the trade itself. But everything else well above 80, 90%. We're close to 90% total. I'm very, very happy with this week's progress, even though we did have some pretty big hits with our system. Also, there is I mean, this is August. This is a pretty good month in trading and doing a few things, but there's a lot of stuff happening. Now, NADEX, very, very powerful. Me personally, I traded several times this week, and I do pretty well because I have a tremendous amount of contracts that I use, and my balance is pretty high on my account. You can watch my Trading with Max videos out there live when I'm trading during the week. This is more of a wrap up for the Dex Trader results. And I just wanted you to see that we're going to start doing this, and this will actually be on a page. You'll see the link inside this video or in the description of this video where this page is at, and you can find it, and you can actually see the results. You can go through the results. You can see exactly what signals we put out there. And if you decide it's something that you want to buy into, just simply click here and it'll bring you to a page just like this, and it'll get you into our system. Our Dex Trader base is the most popular, which is all the signals that you just seen. Our all-in packages includes our 5-minute MDM with our web-based platform, which is pretty strong too, because that web-based platform is basically a web-based platform. It's everything is right here. You don't have to download any special stuff on it at all. You get your signals right here on the page with a chart, support and resistance, and the Dex MACD. And that dinging sound that you hear when a new signal comes out. Pretty powerful, right? But that can be found on the 5-minute MDM system, which we really dig because it's extremely, extremely powerful. Now you can get all that right here on dextrader.com and get started. There's plenty of training too with everything else. Now this is turning into a sales video. Great. But that's our results. I'm Max. This is dextrader.com, and we'll see you next time. And as always, trade well.